with everything going on in 2020 or whatnot, how would you say your creative mindset has been affected? Has it been like almost like you kind of have to work on things because of everything going on? If you felt it been a creative drought, what's the process for you, if you don't
Yeah,
mind sharing?
like this is a great question, by the way, and I'm interested to see what other people said.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like honestly, I didn't really see a huge change in my life.
Sure.
Like, um, before this, I went to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, which is no longer a thing. Um,
Yeah.
and I
I
would,
just started my gym schedule. I was so frustrated.
yeah, I've gained a lot of weight because of this quarantine. Anyway, um, and that was like pretty much the only time I ever went out. Um,
Mm.
I also had like some personal life changes happen at the end of 2019. Uh, so like I was not in a super great place to begin with, and
Sure.
COVID kind of didn't really like change my personal. Obviously, it's affected like it's horrible that so many people have been infected
Yeah,
and had life changing issues because of it,
for
or
sure.
have unfortunately passed away. That's
Yeah.
awful. I've been very fortunate. My personal family has not been affected, thankfully.
Right.
Um,
And it's looking like your work has not been affected a ton
yeah,
as well.
yeah. Like to get back to what you were asking, yeah, like I honestly feel like it's been a creative boon. Um, because a lot of the feelings of frustration I've gotten out into like other creative work I'm doing, like writing and
Right.
that sort of stuff. YouTube has kind of become a brick, a stone, a rock I can kind of latch onto in the turbulent time.
Of
Um,
course.
so it honestly, it's been a pretty good year for me.
For sure. Yeah, and uh like we're fortunate in that sense. Like I guess creators or people who work at home, the transition was definitely a little bit easier for them.
Hmm.
But like you were mentioning, just the idea of what other people are going through definitely daunts on us also. Do you find that you've been going more into like escapism with regards to maybe watching more YouTube videos than usual or catching up on more shows? Like, have you been
Absolutely,
indulging in more? Okay.
100%, absolutely. Uh, Not to bring politics into stuff, but
Sure.
early on, my candidate did not win a primary, and
Mm.
after that, I was like, okay, I'm checking out. And then, unfortunately, events in the United States happened where it was no longer ignored, so I had to. It could no longer be ignored, so I had to be invested, and
Yeah,
escapism became very important during that stressful time. And again, this
for
is not to
sure.
say like I'm very lucky in my position
Yeah,
to not have to deal with a lot of the problems a lot of
right.
less privileged
But
people
it's
do.
it's absolutely okay to also just feel down about other events,
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
don't pertain to you.
Um, but yeah, that got way off topic. I'm sorry, but yeah, absolutely. I
It's
have,
all it's that's
I've,
how the podcast goes. We
uh,
just we start somewhere and we end somewhere else. It's totally fine. But have you found that like do you think watching all this other like content being made and indulging on all this like art for lack of a better word, have you found that's been like what's inspiring you to create, or do you think it's purely out of just
yeah.
like what else am I supposed to
um,
do?
I think uh, yes. To answer your question, yes, it has
Okay.
really inspired me. But I think the quarantine really got me to watch a lot of content I normally wouldn't have. I've really gotten into a
Interesting.
lot of booktube, I think is what they call it. Uh, Also because I want to start writing fiction more.
Of
I've gotten
course.
into a lot of booktube. I've gotten into a lot of like VFX YouTubers, like the Corridor Crew. They're amazing, Corridor Digital.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's how I talking about Beeple earlier. That's how I found Beeple was
Mm.
through their stuff. It's kind of broadened my like
Creative
consumption,
horizons
yeah,
a little
creative
bit.
horizons and consumption of media into stuff I normally wouldn't have ever watched. Like,
Yeah.
and it's really helpful to see how different people work on the different levels of stuff. Like Corridor Digital puts way more work into their videos than like a booktuber I like. His name is Daniel Green. He does like 5 videos a week, and it's him in front of his camera talking about a book he read or reviewing that stuff or going over like he's a fantasy news aggregation. And both of those things are equally valid and
for sure
necessary, and it's been great to see that. And
hey there, you just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode, you can support me over on Patreon, and if not, you can subscribe to check out more clips coming here soon.